Everyone knows that Kentucky basketball, or Coach Cal, produces the best guards in college basketball. Kentucky is practically a breeding ground for NBA guards. Some people believe it's Calipari's way of coaching that best prepares these guys for the league. Others believe he simply recruits the best players. Either way, you can almost guarantee that at least one guard on a Coach Cal team will wind up being an NBA All-Star someday. Kentucky has produced the most NBA players out of any college basketball program, and also the most All-Stars in NBA history with 19. You can say a lot of things about Coach Cal, but one thing you can't say is that he doesn't prepare or send his players to the league. When we look at his most recent roster from the 2023 to 24 season, Rob Dillingham will be that guy to continue the tradition. Robert Dillingham is a 6'1" guard from Hickory, North Carolina. Most people are familiar with him from shifting his defenders and flashy, bucket-filled highlights. He was one of, if not the single most exciting player in college basketball last season, drawing comparisons to Kyrie Irving for his invigorating handles and shot-making, creating countless thrilling highlights and becoming an instant fan favorite. If one had to describe his game, it would be an electric bucket getter who is developing as a playmaker. Dillingham has some of the greatest qualities of Kentucky's top guards of all time, meshed all in one. He has the speed of De'Aaron Fox, the quickness of a Tyrese Maxey, the shooting of Devin Booker, the explosiveness of Malik Monk, and difficult shot-making ability of Jamal Murray. It is important to note that Dillingham came off the bench for the Wildcats last season, and although many people felt as if he should be starting, he thrived in that role. He was the SEC Sixth Man of the Year and was selected to the SEC All-Freshman team. Rob averaged over 15 points per game and about 4 assists while shooting 47.5% from the field and an efficient 44% from three. He was second for the team in scoring despite being fifth in minutes played, dropping 15 points and 4 assists night in and night out while only getting 23 minutes a game is extremely impressive. Now that you have a glimpse of how good this kid is, we're going to compare him to Kentucky's past guards to show you exactly why Dillingham is bound to succeed in the NBA. Let's look at all the Kentucky guards to average at least 10 points per game as freshmen. Side note, throughout this video, we will strictly be looking at the Coach Cal era of Kentucky's history. At the top, we have guys like Jamal Murray and Malik Monk who averaged around 20 as freshmen. If we look, we can see that Rob is in great company with guys like De'Aaron Fox, John Wall, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who all have been or are currently all-star caliber lead guards in the NBA. Now keep in mind that Rob was doing this while receiving very limited minutes. To give you a visual of how impressive this was, check out his minutes per game compared to the rest of the guys on the list. Rob is near the very bottom, in front of only Devin Booker, who famously became an all-star after coming off the bench for Coach Cal's stacked 2014 squad. Even Rob's teammate Reed Sheppard, who also came off the bench, received a significantly higher amount of minutes per game. So now we ask ourselves, what would it look like if Rob did get more playing time? Well, let's take a look at their stats per 40 minutes. Rob Dillingham has the highest points per 40 minutes out of any Kentucky freshman guard in the Coach Cal era. This means Rob maximized his opportunities in the amount of time received, more than any Kentucky freshman guard under Coach Cal, over guys like Shai, Maxey, De'Aaron Fox, and several more all-NBA caliber players. Another huge question that many people will bring up as well, why does Rob receive so few minutes? Is he doing something to lose Cal's trust? John Calipari actually spoke on this before the season.
All right, so you're coaching a kid that can create space and get a basket when he wants to. Do you clip his wings? You can't. You got to let him go, but I give him 2.5. The third one, you're coming out. You're not going nuts. This isn't the M1 tape. But this isn't the M1 tape where you got to do 5 extra things and then pass it. You saw the one where he drove and threw it that way to Aaron. Thank God they tipped it out of bounds. Why did you do that? Because I do that sometimes. But I've got to let some of that stuff go.
So while Rob is known to be an absolute torch off the bench, many scouts believe he can get a little out of control and question his ability to run a team in the NBA. Many comparisons have him with a Lou Williams, Jamal Crawford, or Bones Hyland type of ceiling. I'm here to tell you that he is much more than that. So the question of the day is, can Rob Dillingham truly be trusted as a reliable playmaker at the next level? We've answered this for you. This is where he ranked among the same list of Kentucky players in assists per game. He's in the top 10. If you look closely, you'll see that Rob averaged more assists per game than guys like Tyrese Maxey and Jamal Murray, who are both currently great playmakers in the league, with Maxey finishing 7th in assists this past postseason, and Jamal Murray ending his playoff run ranked 15th in the postseason. Another part of this narrative on Dillingham is that he's a turnover machine. While 2 turnovers per game is a higher number than most would like for his amount of minutes played, take a look at his assist-to-turnover ratio in comparison with the same group of guys. For this graph, there's a minimum of 13 points per game to strictly show the playmaking of higher-scoring guards. What might come as a surprise to most is the fact that Robert Dillingham ranks at the very top among these guys. The narrative that Rob cannot be trusted as a ball-dominant lead guard is clearly false and is not backed up by the numbers. As you can see, guys like De'Aaron Fox, Shea, Tyrese Maxey, and Jamal Murray are on this list ranked below Rob and are all All-Star to MVP-level guards in the NBA, capable of leading their teams to deep playoff runs. Now, since everyone seems to see Rob strictly as a microwave type of player, let's see where his freshman season stacks up to a few of the NBA's notable bucket-getting bench players, who also happen to be guys that Rob is being compared to a lot. Jamal Crawford, Jordan Clarkson, Malik Monk, and Bones Highland. We'll compare some stats from Rob's collegiate career to the college careers of those guys. As we all know, these guys are all bucket getters, so we'll ignore the points aspect. We'll be looking at their assist-to-turnover ratio and true shooting percentage. This gives us an idea of how their game might translate to the next level, as guys with a lower assist-to-turnover ratio are less likely to be capable playmakers in the league, and guys with lower shooting percentages are less likely to be star-level scorers, but only a spark off the bench. These 2 attributes are key indicators and can be the difference between a player only being a 6th man of the year type of guy and becoming an all-star caliber guard. So, let's take a look. Here is the set of guys that Rob is being compared to. The further right a player is, the higher their true shooting percentage, and the higher up a player is, the better his assist-to-turnover ratio is. Now let's see where Rob is in comparison to them. As you can see, Rob is in a complete league of his own. With the highest shooting percentages and assist-to-turnover ratio, Dillingham clearly sets himself apart and is fully capable of running a team as the lead guard in the future. Typically, a microwave type of bench scorer will lack either the efficiency of a star, the playmaking of a star, or both. As you can see, while he is still developing these things, Rob has the potential to be an amazing playmaker and efficient scorer in the league. Last but not least, let's look at PER. PER, or Player Efficiency Rating, is an all-in-one basketball rating, which attempts to collect all of a player's contributions into one number. It basically shows you who the best player on the court is. For example, among players with the highest rated PER seasons in NBA history, we have Jordan, LeBron, Wilt, Jokic, and Giannis as the top 5 players in the history of the league. If we look at this same batch of Kentucky guys with a usage rate of at least 20, which allows us to see specifically more ball-dominant guards as they would be in the NBA, Rob has the highest PER among them all. This means that Robert Dillingham was one of, if not the single most productive freshman guard for each minute played in Kentucky's history under Coach Cal. And to verify how reliable this stat is, you can see at the top, they are all All-Stars or quality NBA players, while at the bottom, there are guys who are either struggling to maintain their spot in the league or no longer in the league. With the amazing talent that has come through Kentucky and played for Coach Calipari, if that doesn't show you how special he is, I don't know what will. Rob is also amazing in catch-and-shoot situations, draining nearly half of his catch-and-shoot threes last season, and is able to shoot on the move or spotting up. This is another area where he separates himself from off-the-bench scorers, as they typically need the ball in order to make an impact. Rob, on the other hand, is not a ball stopper. He is capable of playing within the offense, as he is willing to cut, come off of off-ball screens, and even set screens occasionally. With these statistics, I hope you can now see that Robert Dillingham is much more than a spark off the bench, but he is the next NBA superstar guard from the Coach Cal system. While he will need to improve on his decision-making and defensive effort, he has all the makings to be an all-star. Current 2024 mock drafts have him going as high as the 2nd pick and as low as the back of the lottery. In my opinion, the ideal landing spot for Rob would be the San Antonio Spurs. A Rob and Wemby duo paired along with Pop's coaching could absolutely terrorize the league for the next decade and electrify fans in a way that no duo has ever done. Giving Rob a skilled 7'4" lob threat like Wemby would make things much easier for a smaller-sized guard like himself. And with a solid point guard in Trey Jones as a mentor, skilled scorers like Devin Vassell to relieve some of the scoring pressure, tough enforcers like Jeremy Sohan, and a highly respected Spurs staff, San Antonio would make for an amazing landing spot where Rob could make a seamless transition to the league and thrive as Wemby's co-star. Just think about how easy Joel Embiid made things for a young Tyrese Maxey, or how simple Nikola Jokic made things for Jamal Murray when he entered the league. Wemby could do something similar for Rob, as Victor is a great playmaker for his size, and Rob is able to play off the ball, as he is an exceptional catch-and-shoot player and a solid cutter. Wherever Rob goes, it should be an organization that pours into him, caters to his strengths and abilities, and provides him with plenty of time and room to grow. Being a guard in the NBA is not an easy transition for young guys, and it usually takes a minute for them to develop into great players. I see Rob becoming a Tyrese Maxey, Kyrie Irving, or Darius Garland type of player. A smaller-sized guard with the superior ability to create separation with their quickness and shiftiness, along with top-tier shot-making capabilities, above-average playmaking tendencies, and the ability to play on or off the ball. Despite his size, Rob's skill makes up for it. And as Coach Cal stated, he has worldly self-confidence, which is very important to become a star in the league.
Like, it's confidence. Like, it's how you think the game. It's not about what you can do, what you are as a player. If you have a lot of confidence, like, you're confident to do what you practice. So everything I practice, I just feel like I can do in the game because I have so much confidence.
With that being said, we all can't wait to see what Robert Dillingham will become in the future, and we'll all be watching to see where he lands in the 2024 NBA Draft. Do you believe Rob Dillingham will become a star in the NBA? Only time will tell.